instant, in an instant, in an instant pot. In an instant, in an instant, in an instant pot.
Good morning and welcome to In an Instant Pot. Nice to see so many of you here this morning. So as I said, today we're going to be doing some stuffed peppers. So all we're going to do today, we're just going to do enough for two people. Or maybe one if you're a bit chubby like I am, but that's absolutely fine. And we've got some basic ingredients. We've got peppers. I've got two. Dead easy. Bit of broccoli. Some little baby tomatoes, little cherry tomatoes. I've got a little selection of them. We've got 50 grams of grated cheese, 200 mils of milk. We're going to be using some dried sage, and once again, because we can, we're using some more beautiful eggs. Obviously these are coming from my girls. Thank you to them. Although we've got a bit of an issue at the moment. We found out that one of them started to go a bit broody. I think last week I was saying about one of the chicks has decided that they like to peck our eggs. So we've added a couple of golf balls into the coop. But the odd thing is that now Audrey, one of our speckledies, has decided that she wants to make the golf balls into chickens. It's not going to happen. It's very hard to let her know that actually you can't hatch a golf ball. So we're going to have to work out how to break that cycle now. And this is all new for us. But give her a due. She did lay a nice egg for us yesterday about 4 o'clock. So we got 5 eggs yesterday out of the 6 girls. Cannot complain. So anyway, let's get down to it. First things first, we've got the veg, but we're going to be using a little tin. And in this tin, all you're going to do is either use some olive oil or a bit of sunflower oil and grease the tin. But I'm using some cooking spray, and all I'm going to do is that. And it's now done. How quick was that? Nice and quick, nice and easy. So it's all ready, nice and greased. That's job one done. How about that? But I suppose you're here for some food, so I suppose I better start using some. So I've got 2 lovely peppers, as I said. I've got a jug here, and all I'm going to do there is put in all the old seeds and the bits we're not going to use. And they'll go into our compost heap. Again, we've got a fantastic compost heap. Because of course we're going to get lots of chicken manure in it, as long as all our fresh veg scraps that we can't use. So we're going to take one of the peppers, and we're going to want to cut it lengthways. Nothing hard about this. Just literally cut it straight down like that. Now we don't want all these seeds in. So there's a lot of seeds. So if you just cut around the stalk at the top, and you can pull, and you can see the majority of the seeds come out. So much easier than trying to do it any other way. So there we go. Same again. Now with this bit of pith that we've got left, just cut it out. The bits that will come out easier, the bits you don't want, they're quite bitter. A little bit in there is absolutely fine. Or if you don't want it, just get a knife and slowly, gently just touch it, and as you can see, it'll pull out. Nice and simple. It's all about simplicity. There we go. Nice and simple. Done. So now we've done that, that's one pepper done. That was quite quick, wasn't it? So I'll put those over there for now, and we'll do another pepper. So this time, I'm going to use the red pepper. And once again, just slice all the way through it, straight down. And there you have it. Now with this one, I'm going to leave the stalk in this time, because I'm thinking, well, actually, it might leak. So just chop underneath the stalk, and you can see once again all the pips come out. Now there are still some seeds in there. All you need to do is go bang. Well, there you go. Seeds are out. Let's do that again, in case you didn't keep up. So this time I'm going to take a little bit of the pith off there, and just literally just stay very gentle. You're hardly touching the knife at all. And just cut underneath. Take that out. Done. Go bang, and there you go. So this time we've got a couple of full peppers. So that's a nice and easy start. So what else do we need to do? Well, as I said, this one is going to be a broccoli meal. So we're not going to use a lot of this broccoli. It's just to add in. So take off, if you've got a head of broccoli, normal head of broccoli, I'd probably use, I don't know, a third to a half of that. So what you want to do, you want all the little bits of heads. So don't want that. So that can go back in the veg bowl. And that can go back. The girls will have that later. So we're going to use about that much. Now then, there looks a lot of broccoli here, because actually this is all going to go into the peppers. So really what we want is pieces that size compared to that. We want the tiniest and tiniest of trees. So what do? Is break off one of the big trees and cut down as far as you can and take off that big stalk. So that bit, again, goes into the compost heap. Then you're left with this. All you do, pull a little bit at a time, like that. Pull it off. Because this is all going to get mixed up soon anyway. It's going to be mixed up with the cheese, so with the milk and the tomatoes. And I'm left with a tiny piece of stalk. Compost. They can go into the bowl, because they are going to be mixed up soon. So once again, get your head of broccoli and take another big tree off. As I said, cut as close as you dare. And that bit, compost. I mean, ideally, if you don't want to compost any of this, you can always use it, of course, for making a stock with. There we go. Now I'm going to cheat there because I know that all that is now pulled apart into little pieces. Brilliant. And we're left with a tiny piece of stalk. Put it in there. I'm all about not wasting food. Absolutely don't waste food. Now, broccoli, you can get frozen broccoli. For this, it will not work. I can tell you now this will not work because unfortunately when you get the broccoli frozen, as soon as you defrost it, it becomes mushy. So, there we go. So that's what we've got so far. A few trees. Maybe break a couple of these up a bit more, like that one. That one will break up a lot more. Because you don't want big cobs of broccoli in these peppers, do you? So, I think that'll do for broccoli for now. Looking at the size of the peppers, they're not the biggest. So I've used just about a quarter of the head of broccoli. And quite usually I'd change knives and change boards. But because it's all going to the same thing, it's fine. So I have got some beautiful British baby plum tomatoes. And these were these were grown up in Lancashire. So that's good, it's my home county. And what we're going to do with these, we're going to get a tomato and we're going to chop it into pieces. It's very simple. You know, I've got a couple of long ones here. Well, you can see that these will nice and easily chop in to 6 beautiful little chunks. Add it into the bowl with the broccoli. And again, how much we're using? Well, you've got to judge it yourself, unfortunately. Because it all depends on the size of your peppers. Depends how much tomato you like. You know, I've got some little red cherry ones in here. It's nice to get a mix. These ones I'm just quartering. Just something very simple. Add them to the bowl. And just keep chopping them all up. So if anybody's got any questions, they're more than welcome to ask them in the chat. As I said, we've got a 25-minute cooking time, so we'll be doing a lot more waffle then. And for anybody who doesn't want to listen to me waffle, then put me on mute. Probably the best thing anyway, because you never know what might happen. I might start singing again. I might start singing a silly song again. Let's chop the tomatoes again. Who knows what I might do? Mile Twitch says, what a busy day. Veg and cheese and eggs, that'll do me. Yep, these are nice. There's not a sight of meat amongst it, which anybody who actually knows me will know I'm a meat eater. But this is a nice alternative. A nice light lunch. As I said, I mean, I'm doing 2 peppers, purely because 2 peppers fit nicely in my air fryer. Sometimes I'll eat them all. Sometimes I just eat one of them. So that's what I've got so far. So you just need to give it a bit of a mix. Well, there you go. That's starting to look quite nice already. Nice and simple. Yeah, a nice salad will go well with these if you've got some. That would have been something I could have got, but I didn't because I forgot. I was busy yesterday. In fact, busy all weekend. So I didn't get any salad, so I'm just going to have these as they are. And again, if you can't get hold of these baby tomatoes, then just get a couple of bigger tomatoes. But remember, you just want to chop them into small pieces. Once you get them into small pieces, it'll be great. Because remember, you're stuffing a pepper. Quite easy, really. So let me move those out of the way. Don't need that for now. So let's get rid of that board. Give the cooking service a quick wipe down. Da da dum dum da dum dum. Broccoli gets everywhere. Yes, it does. Nowadays, broccoli's pain. Yes, it is for me. So, what are we going to do now? Well, the first thing we're going to do is break the eggs. Now then, so we've got 4 eggs here. I think that's going to be too much, but we'll soon find out. So it's literally break your egg. And again, the eggshells, good for compost. I need to get myself an egg topper. I'm not the best at breaking eggs, but luckily, because these are so fresh, they break absolutely beautifully every single time. So, what are we going to do now? Well, first thing we're going to do is give the eggs a bit of a whisk so we can break those up. So, in a lot of ways, it's going to be like a scrambled egg again. It seems that everything I cook in the Instant Pot family is either a scrambled egg or onion. Not on purpose, it's just a case of I'm trying to do different things each week. So I'm going to add, we've got 200 mils of milk here. So I'm going to add half of it. Give it a little minute, like that. And then we need to come to the dried sage. Now it depends on how much sage you like. I quite like sage, but it can be quite pungent for a lot of people. So I would add in no more than a teaspoon, probably 2/3, half a teaspoon, just about that much. And this is where we need to give it a good whisk. So I'll get my balloon whisk. As you can see, much easier. And there we go. So that's our eggy, sort of sagey, milky goodness. But we need to add a little bit of seasoning. So I'm going to add a couple of grains of salt. And then I like things peppery. So you're seasoning it to your own personal taste. Again, you don't have to have it. But, oh, the smell of freshly ground black pepper. Oh, I absolutely love it. Smells absolutely delicious. So the next thing we're going to do is go over to the pot. I've got my veg here. That can be moved away because now it's time to get the air fryer on. Now then, this time we're not actually going to be using the air fryer mode. This time we want it to go to bake, and the time is going to be about 25 minutes, and the temperature is going to be 199 degrees C. So whilst that's actually warming up, we're going to mix the egg mixture with the tomato and broccoli. There we go. So, make sure everything is nice and coated. Everything needs to be really well coated. But what about the cheese? What about the cheese? Well, the cheese is coming in a minute. It's now saying to add food, so it's ready to go. So, now I haven't added anything into the air fryer, but I have got my little pan that just happens to fit in perfectly. So, what we're going to do, the peppers in, like so. As I said, we've only got 4 pepper halves, because as you can see, it's rather full. So, to make life easy for me, and to make more washing, because I know that my wife and I love washing up all the time, all I'm going to do is pour that into a jug. You could have made it into a jug earlier, and then come back over here. So now we've got this beautiful mixture. Need a fork. There we go. Fill them up as much as you dare. We've got plenty left over. So add some more veg into it. Don't be scared. If it overfills, it overfills. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it'll clean up. There we go. We've got, that's the end of all that stuff. Lonely God's asking about the fryer. His fryer doesn't have a bake function. You can do it in the oven for a similar time. You can indeed. It might take a little bit longer in a conventional oven. But if you've got a fan oven, yeah, then you'll be fine. If you put it in on 200, it'll bake just as well. I'm just trying to show that the air fryers do often have a bake function. So we've now filled our little lovelies with all the veg, and now for the cheese-o-matics amongst you, just put a load of cheese on top, and all that is going to bake over and melt all over the top of these things. Oh, I think I've made just the perfect amount of cheese here. That's a really good guess. I've used about 50 grams of grated cheese there. So then you just put it back, you plonk the fryer back in, beep, and there we go. That's it. We're done. So there we go. So it's now going to be cooking for 25 minutes. The air fryer will beep and let me know when it's done. And about halfway, 2/3 of the way through the cook, the air fryer will actually tell me to turn the food. Now, if you were cooking a chicken or bacon or whatever, then you'd need to turn it over. Obviously, we're actually on the bake function. It's that we just want it to bake and stay up, so we're not going to turn it over. Anybody who was here last week when I did the egg bites will know that I had to add a couple of extra minutes because it hadn't quite firmed up enough, one of the eggs. So I did it for 13 minutes rather than 11, and that seemed to work. So I've gone for an initial 25 minutes, and then we'll see what it looks like. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this is going to be a very Moorish, tasty, tasty dish. That's better. So, yeah. So, tomorrow, as I said, we're going to be doing peppers stuffed again. But we're going to be using the Instant Pot multi-cooker. Now, the difference with that is it's going to be a meat variant, and they're going to be pressure cooked. So it's going to be a totally different way of cooking, but it's a similar idea of a dish. It's going to be different fillings inside, but rather than slicing them halfway, we're going to lop the tops off tomorrow and stuff them that way, so there'll be more filling inside. And again, I'll be doing enough for 2 of us, so I'll do 4 peppers tomorrow. Rather than 4 pepper halves, we'll do 4 full peppers. And we'll see how they manage in the pot. That could be an interesting stream. So that's what's coming up tomorrow. Next week, I'm going to try something entirely different in the air fryer. I'm going to try and make some cookies. How they'll work out, I have no idea. But we're going to give it a try. I'm not very au fait with how the air fryer works, but I'm really intrigued. And I know that some of the food that comes out, if it's fatty food, it makes it a lot healthier. Cookies, I'm not quite sure if they're healthy or not, but all I can say is it will involve lots of peanut butter. So, just bear with me and I will be right back. Sorry about that, just really needed a drink. So I thought I'd drink offline rather than online. I can't say that I'm on a certain brand of energy drink that's like an ogre, but I'm not allowed to say that in case I get struck off. It's very easy to get struck off Twitch and Twitter and YouTube and anything. So, got to be careful. So, we've gone 4 minutes of cooking already. It's very easy. You just literally, that's the good thing about the air fryer. You put it in, you leave it. You can go and do something for 20 minutes. You don't need to come and have a look at it. You don't need to check it's not boiled over or the fat's splatting everywhere. It's all enclosed. Air fryers are a really good idea. They're fairly reasonable to run. They're not overly expensive. They're so much healthier than using a frying pan. Yeah, you can't do absolutely everything in them. I mean, you couldn't really fry an egg very easy. I mean, you could if you used a tin like I've got, but it wouldn't cook as simple. Well, I'm sure it would. But with the air fryer and the multi-cooker, I think for most families who want to save time, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. They are such a godsend to me and my family. It speeds things up. It's healthier. And you can just put things in, go away and do something. You're not slaving at the stove. mean, I took my time there, chopped a few a couple of peppers in half. I chopped a bit of broccoli, chopped some tomatoes. I could have done it faster, but at the end of the day, it took me, 10 minutes? Whisk up a couple of eggs, bit of milk, put it together, add a bit of seasoning, chuck it in the air fryer. Shove the drawer in. Bob's your uncle. 25 minutes. I can go away now and actually do nothing. But instead, I'm going to come and speak with you guys. So, what's this in the chat? Liz says, have you tried the latest thing of cooking chicken in Coca-Cola? Not sure how that can possibly taste nice. I've not cooked chicken in Coca-Cola. I did ham in Coke a couple of years ago for a Christmas. A few years ago. That was before I was diabetic. And it was really nice. It makes it very, very sweet and sugary, obviously. Because I know you can't use a Diet Coke because it's the sugar that actually clings into the meat and permeates through it. I've not tried it on chicken. I'm sure it'd be very tasty, but unfortunately it'd be too much sugar in that for me. But if you try it, please let me know. Not sure how Coke would go with chicken, though. I think chicken's a bit light as a meat. It's very neutral in taste. So it would really just taste like the Coke, whereas the ham has a saltiness about it. So it's got the sweet and salty together. I think it would be an interesting try, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one, Liz. But thanks for the question. Apparently a lot of people are trying it lately. Well, if anybody does try it, please let me know. And if you can do it with a Diet Coke, and it comes out okay, then I'd do that as well. Because obviously, being diabetic, it's not good having too much sugar. Seeing as Coke is very high in sugar, I'd have to watch it. So, what other things have I tried that are a bit odd? Excuse me. Well, for anybody who follows me on my website, www.inaninstant.pot.com, you'll find I do a blog weekly, and not last week, the week before's blog, I think it was, I did all about obscure concoctions of food. So like sausage rolls in chocolate sauce. And the idea of the whole blog was to try and question, why do we eat the same things? Why do we not push ourselves? Why do we have to have fish with chips? Why can't we have, the battered fish with, I don't know, prawn crackers? Has anybody tried it? Does it work? The prawn cracker could use the scoop with the fish in, put a bit of mushy peas on it. Would that taste okay? At the end of the day, prawn crackers are seafood along with the fish. And made with the peas that'll just make it feel like it's back in the sea with all the slime at the bottom. I don't know. But yeah, please do have a look at my blog. I would appreciate anybody to comment on there. And if anybody wants to do some writing, please contact me. I'm on Facebook in an iPod. I've got a Facebook group. Obviously, there's a form to get in touch on my website, or contact me, via a whisper, or however you want to contact me. I'm more than happy to speak to people. If anybody wants to have full recipes and a bit more guidance, then let me know. I do put up some of the recipes on my website. I usually add one recipe at least a week, even though I do two. But it all depends on how much time I've got. But it's certainly something I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy cooking. I like to see people. I enjoy, most of all, trying to get people encouraged to cook for themselves. My aim of this whole channel is to get people to cook for themselves and realize you can do it frugally, you can do it speedily, and you can cut out some of the calories, you can cut out the fat, you can eat fresh. And it's not all about having, stupidly expensive, tenderloins of beef, top end salmon you've got to cook in a fish kettle that the kettle alone will cost you £30 and stuff. No, it's about use the air fryer, use the multi-cooker, and you can cook family meals easy, speedy, healthy. Can't say any more than that. Can't say it. So, on top of all this food, as you know, I enjoy being around food, talking about food, not just cooking it. But that means I also enjoy eating with other people. So when it's coming up towards different occasions, I'm going to try and get some more pretty dishes, ones to impress a loved one, or one to use at certain functions or something. Now, I am not a prettifying cook at all. I like bunging it in, chucking it on a plate and getting it down my face, yum, yum, yum in my tum, tum, tum. But I appreciate that sometimes you've got to treat that special one in your life, or even yourself. And, doing that can actually give you a sense of pride. That sense of pride will help you cook more and think more about what you're cooking. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be spending a lot of money on these dishes. It's just a thought that actually, what else can I do? As I said, next week I'm going to do some cookies. Well, I know at some point in the future I'm going to be doing a cheesecake. I like cheesecakes. I can't have a lot of it, but I do really enjoy cheesecakes. But I also know that actually in the multi-cooker, I've got a sous vide function there. So I could easily go and get a steak and try and sous vide the actual steak. I've never done that before. I've got a bagging machine. I've got the function to do it. So maybe that's something I need to do. It'll probably entail me adding a load of flavouring and stock or sauce or something in with the steak and letting it marinate overnight, maybe. But if I can do that, and then I can sous vide it in the Instant Pot, well, that sounds posh, doesn't it? Wow, sous vide steak. So maybe, in a few weeks' time, I'll do that. There's so many things you can do, not just in the multi-cooker, but in the air fryer. I brought today a sample book. I find this book here, the Instant Vortex Air Fryer. Now, this is by Mons Machinea, and it's a very simple cookbook. Unfortunately, there's no pictures, but it's very simple and very detailed. So let's have a look what we can do here. Oh, how about some chocolate cheese brownies? They actually cook for 20 minutes. That's not bad, is it? easy berry muffins. They cook for 30 minutes. I like the idea of some berry muffins. I've got a lot of frozen berries, so I might do that. Or how about making some radish chips, carrot cake cookies, chicken stuffed poblanos. Oh, lots of fish things here. Lots of fish. Well, for those who are vegetarian, vegetable kebabs, air fried cabbage. Well, that sounds like an easy one to do, doesn't it? Cooking time 10 minutes. Slice cabbage head into 2-inch slices. Add some olive oil, bit of garlic, pepper and salt. Drizzle with olive oil. Select bake. And then cook for 10 minutes at 180. Wow! There you go. Jen Singh says, if we can wait for an hour or two for a takeaway to arrive, then being able to cook a meal at home in less time than that will be cheaper and healthier too. Absolutely very true. That's really good. Oh, Mild Twitch has said, that would be useful for our future birthday meals. Something different. Absolutely. You know, we can bake a cake. You know, we can make some muffins or some cappuccino cupcakes or, you know, cinnamon muffins or, oh, peanut butter cookies. That's what we're doing next week. You know, and if you use, say, the air fryer and the Instant Pot multi-cooker together, well, you can easily get lots and lots of food. You can get something cooked air fried while cooking the side dish in the other bit. And then if you need to, use good old your assistant, Chef Mike. You know, beep, 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 ping. Done. Poppity ping. Use Chef Mike. Don't be ashamed. That's why technology's come on so much. Use them. They're so much easier, so much faster. You know, I've got, you know, a 7-ring cooker. I hardly use it now. I use the ovens. Don't get me wrong. I've got a double oven. And yes, I use them. You know, but I don't use the stovetop as much. You know, if I just want to bake and butty like I had last night, shove it in the air fryer. After 7 minutes, it's cooked absolutely to perfection. Nice and crispy, but half the fat's drained away. Saves you doing it. You're not watching it again. You can just leave it. I just put some toast in the toaster and added the bacon, and it was done. It was delicious. Liz says, I could decorate cakes, but rubbish at baking them. So that would be a great one to watch. Oh, yeah. I'm not quite sure about baking a full cake, but you can certainly do muffins and cobblers and things in the air fryer. I'm just having a quick glance through here. There is a cake mix. There's cupcakes. Oh, yeah, there's an almond cake. That'll be an interesting one to try. That doesn't take that much. Or there's a ricotta cake. Now, I'm not a big fan of ricotta, but I do find it, when it's cooked through something, I can taste it. I can eat the items fine. Last week when I did my stream, I used half a tub of ricotta. Couldn't tell it was there. Could not tell it was cheesy at all. So maybe an almond cake would be something. How long does that take? Well, the cook time on that is only 40 minutes. So maybe in a few weeks, when I feel a bit braver using the air fryer, I'll try a cake. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. You go wrong with me. We'll have to see then how we actually fix it. Like last week, had to think on the fly, but we got there. It worked. I had to cook an extra few minutes, but it worked out absolutely perfect. And the people who tasted it really, really enjoyed it. I know 3 other people who tasted the egg bites as well as myself, and they all said it was yum. I had mine red hot straight out, and they were delicious. My wife, she had it cold, and she knew it was delicious. Hey, fantastic. It's all about trial. Sometimes it's frustrating, and if you overcook something, that's when it feels a failure. If you undercook, you can always cook further. But if you overcook, then yeah, unfortunately, it does mean you can't do much about it. But usually it's only overcooking by a small amount, so that's all right. But I want to do some testing streams as well. Going forward, I've got an idea. I don't know if you guys want to say it's a good idea or not. I'm thinking on maybe a Friday or one day a month, to have a little sit down and chat with you guys. But maybe go through a couple of kitchen gadgets that I like, maybe compare and contrast and say what I like and why I like it, or what I don't like and why it's a definite don't buy. It's up to you guys if you think that's something that might be interesting. Please let me know. Thanks, Sketty Meatball. They say great idea. Thank you. I mean, I have lots of kitchen gadgets. I mean, I've been married, 15 years now. And before I got married, I was still living with my parents, but I'd already fitted out for a kitchen. I'd had enough stuff to get my own kitchen, and at that time I was working. I was living with my parents, so luckily it was on the cheap, and I was able to get a lot of things. So I got a lot of gadgets because I was like, I want to try this, I want to try that. Oh, what would that do? And there were some major fails. Don't get me wrong. There have been some major fails, some very expensive fails. But there's also been some that's like, wow, what a simple idea. How easy is that? Oh, that looks like the same idea. It does the same thing. Let's see if that works. Oh, that one doesn't work. Why not? I can discuss things like that with you. I think it's all about sharing that journey. And if anybody's got anything that they'd like to know about, especially if it's to do with the air fryers or instant pots or other multi-cookers, let me know. I could, see if I can help you. I mean, I bought a second multi-cooker at weekend. I was very fortunate that I got it quite cheap. A normal, the one I've got, Instant Pot Vortex Evo, that's about £140. Although it might be cheaper because it's Amazon Prime Day, might be in there a bit cheaper. But I bought another Pro Chef one, and that only cost me £35. Admittedly, it's not got all 20 functions. It's got 14. But to be honest, I only used 3 functions on it. It's 6 litres compared to my 8 litres. But I thought, hey, one thing I could do for you guys is actually compare and contrast. Maybe do the same dish in both pots at the same time and see what happens. See if it cooks any differently. And then I can say, give you more advice. Wow. Don't know if you heard that, but that beeping that you just heard there is now saying that actually the food is ready. Right, everybody, let's see the moment of truth and see, has it cooked well enough? That's 25 minutes of cooking. Are we ready? Wow, look at them. The cheese has puffed up, it's browned off, it's grilled up, maybe a little bit too much. But wow, that looks fantastic. Now for the fun bit. Let's try and get them out. Now then, do we use tongs? Was that going to get them? Oh, there we go. There's one. But that wasn't easy. So I'm going to use good old hammerhead. Oh, now that's all stuck, you see. But no, it's not stuck. It's actually the egg mixture's come out a little bit. So, there we go. So, can you see how the egg has leaked out? It's actually made like a little scrambled egg around the tin. Let's go back to the board. Oh, Andrew's back lurking. Yum, yum, yum. Yeah. Sketty meatball. Oh, it's like you're saying the Tefal cuisine companion is like a Thermomix. It cooks, it chops, it slices and dices. Wow. Hey, I haven't got one of those. I'll have to have a chat with my wife and see what she says. I know she's in the chat. I will actually just give her a little subtle nudge later. Yeah. So that, dear viewers, is the stuffed peppers. So what we need to do is cut into them, don't we? So get a knife. Let's see what these look like inside. The cheese is nice and crisp. Oh, the pepper is beautifully golden. I'm going to have to take that cheese off just to show you what it looks like. And there, can you see that? You've got the broccoli, you've got tomatoes, you've got this egg mixture. The pepper is cooked to absolute perfection. It's not totally falling apart. It's holding its own shape. So I think I need to try some. I think it's only fair. Cook's privilege and all that. So I don't apologise for eating in front of you. Let's see how this tastes. Anybody else want to taste? Here you go. Yum. Mmm. The peppers stayed really juicy. The broccoli, I've still got a tiny bit of bite, but chopping it that small has made it nice. The tomatoes stayed juicy. The egg mixture just holds it all together. And the cheese on top, well, it's a cheese topping. Where can you go wrong? Apart from those who don't like cheese, like me. But no, absolutely delicious. You know what? I think serving this with maybe a salad and some rice or something like that would make such a delicious meal. And I know these are going to be filling. And these are vegetarian. We need, as Lonely God said, we need to get more veg in our diet. Yes, we do. We all need to get more veg in our diets. This is so simple. It's literally peppers, bit of broccoli. I've added some tomatoes and some peppers. I whisked up 4 eggs, and in the end I used 100 ml of milk. I just salt and pepper. And actually, just at the back, the sage added is just coming through on a back note. And it really tastes meaty. I don't understand it. It tastes meaty. I'm glad people are enjoying this. This is, oh, you know what? This is delicious. Mm. I can say no more than get yourself in, get yourself cooking. You don't have to have an air fryer to do this, but it certainly helps. Again, I used a tin tray. I used a tin tray. I used a tin tray inside the air fryer. It's a normal baking tray. You can do it in the oven. It took 25 minutes at 200 degrees C. If you're putting it in the air fryer, sorry, if you're doing an air assisted oven, it'll cook pretty much the same time. And obviously, if you're in a tin with a high side, if you've got the egg mixture, you've got a bit extra. Extra. Ha! Not funny. But, yeah, you've got some extra. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go and eat my early lunch. And I hope you've all enjoyed this show. I am back again tomorrow at 10 o'clock again. And tomorrow, I'm doing stuffed peppers. That's right. Stuffed peppers. Round 2. Ding, ding. The meat variety. Until then, see you again. Bye. Enjoy the chicks.
In an instant, in an instant, in an instant.